My name is Roger Perry from Perth in Western Australia, and I'm a boomerang thrower. I compete with boomerangs fairly much all over the world and try to introduce the sport to new countries. And I have a love of boomerangs and throw sticks, but I also have a love of Aboriginal culture and Aboriginal artefacts within Australia, and I'm somewhat of a collector.
And my name is Lily Bhavna Kaula, and I'm originally from Allahabad, but now I'm a non-resident Indian living in Perth in Western Australia, and I do a lot of research with Australian Aboriginal people and Indian tribal people, and I have a particular interest in boomerangs, and I have been researching about the Indian boomerang for the last 20 years, and also thinking of organizing repatriation of boomerangs that are now housed in museums in the United Kingdom.
So I guess it all started for us 3 or 4 months ago now.
Yes.
When you came to me and said, Roger, how do you feel about going to India? And I think my reaction wasn't overly enthusiastic at first, and you said, well, if you don't go, you won't know.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
true.
thought, well, that's very true. I've been to a lot of countries where I thought, oh, that wouldn't be so interesting, but they've turned out to be very interesting countries. So I guess from that discussion we had 4 months ago, we slowly talked more and more about having some sort of program in India. And I guess you said, well, look, what do you do with the boomerangs? And I said, well, I work with schools and teaching school children particularly, which is one of my favourite things to do.
Yes.
Introduce the sport to new children and adults as well, for that matter. And so I was doing that fairly much in Australia already, as well as into other countries. And you said, well, look, why not? Let's take this program and test it out in India. So I guess that's where we've started, and now we're here doing exactly that.
And I think we are going to have a lot of success with this, because we are going to highlight this boomerang issue in India, because Indian people have this belief that boomerangs belong to Australia. And my purpose was that I wanted Indian young people, older people, any people to know that this is also their own heritage. And although it has been destroyed by the ruling party at the time in India, but it is now up to us to actually bring that back and give it the original glory that this beautiful artifact had in India, because we were one of the best throwers of this artifact. And so therefore, that's, I think that will be a very great achievement for us, that we promote this, where I think, all of India can find out, that this belonged to us, and maybe change their thinking about it.
Yeah, from what I've seen from our short time in India, I've found the people really, really nice, but also very proud.
Yes.
And I think they're fairly proud of their history and culture.
Yes.
And I think that part, the Valari, has maybe been lost a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Same as in Australia, isn't it? I mean, even the tribal Aboriginals don't know too much about their culture because they're brought up in a city.
Yeah.
They don't hunt with boomerangs anymore, so there's no use for the boomerang as far as they're concerned. And
that's
so part of that culture's lost, but the problem is that it's really, they're connected to it.
Absolutely.
And if they can actually use it or be aware of it, they can be proud of their culture. And if you're proud of your culture, that makes for happier people, I think.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I think is that there's nothing wrong with having lost something, nothing wrong with not knowing about it, but there is something wrong that after you find out, even then you don't do anything about it. There's something wrong in that. So therefore, I think that with these visits that we have done this time and in future we will be doing, this will actually create a new understanding among the people about this artifact, and then they can learn how to make it and learn how to throw it and all those things, and learn the history of it. And feel proud about it.
Yeah, proud is the important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that when we started off in our first school in New Delhi.
That's right.
We did that one demonstration, and I was surprised, even though we couldn't throw the proper boomerangs.
That's right, the South Delhi public school that was. Yeah.
We could only throw this foam boomerang that went 4 or 5 metres.
Yes.
But the children were fascinated to see that and to listen carefully to the history of the Aboriginal boomerangs.
That's right.
And then when I mentioned their Valari, some of them didn't know about that.
They didn't, yes.
And they're sort of looking at me a little bit blank.
Yeah.
But when we explained that this is part of your culture, it was taken by the English, more than 100 years ago.
Absolutely.
But it was something that the Indians were very, very proficient at using.
Yes.
They were experts at using the throw stick, as were the Aboriginals. So, and when we spoke about that, you could see the real genuine interest of the children.
Yeah, not just the children. I sort of felt that the director, the teachers, and everybody had such a great interest. Everybody came into the middle and they started throwing with the kids, which I thought was great.
I've never seen that in Australia. Normally I go to a school. The kids love it because it's exciting. Boomerangs are flying around. It's an exciting time. The teachers are going, yeah, that's nice. There's not the same enthusiasm because in Australia, boomerang, oh yeah, that's something the Aborigines used to do. But they don't understand where it's going to, where it's come from, and there's not the same genuine excitement. But the kids love it for the fun, and they're interested to know what makes a boomerang work. How do you do that? So,
well, what do you think about the police academy in Chhindwara? Do you think that was a really good
I do.
display that you did?
I think that went very well. We were lucky, weren't we? It rained all day.
Oh, well, yes.
And we thought the program would be lost. But the rain disappeared 1 hour before before the show, even less than that.
The miracle happened.
Yes. Thank you very much. And we were able to do the demonstration.
That's right.
And it just showed you adults absolutely loved it. And I see a similarity actually with the Indians. And also I see the similarity with the Indonesians, where I've spent the last 8 years doing similar programs with both the children and organising competitions and seeing that develop. And I see the same enthusiasm in India, perhaps more. I see even more enthusiasm because they seem to be genuinely seeking information, genuinely wanting knowledge. Yeah, well, that's a great thing.
I thought what was really fantastic is that the local people were so excited that they welcomed you with drums.
That's right.
I thought that was such a fantastic gesture, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
They were so excited that they brought these drums and they played these really loud, beautiful drums to welcome you.
That's right.
Which I thought was really fantastic and a great gesture.
Yeah, it was. And I can remember throwing the boomerang, and every time I caught it, they'd start beating the drum.
They'd start beating the drums.
It was pretty fun. I might have to bring that into my demonstrations in Australia.
That's right. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. And I think all the trainees of the police academy in Chhindwara were just so taken up by that after the show finished, they all came to me and asked me, Madam, how can we contact you afterwards?
Yes.
We want to start up a club in Chhindwara and we want to start practicing this. We want to learn how to do this. And I thought that was really fantastic.
That's right.
Yes.
Did you notice with all the children we've been teaching, as well as adults, they can do it straight away.
Oh, they can. Absolutely.
We can teach them, even though they've never thrown a returning boomerang. Within 2 throws, they're getting success with the foam boomerangs.
And I'm really surprised at that.
So it's a coordination thing. So I believe, like the Aboriginals, you can have an Aboriginal that's never thrown a boomerang, who's never played a sport, but it's natural. It's in his DNA. He's born with that ability. So
no, I think it's fantastic, and I think that with this newfound game that they can play, they call it a game here. I really believe that when all these tournaments are happening overseas countries, I think it would be a matter of great pride for India to be represented there with our young people learning and going and competing. I think it would be a fantastic thing even for the schools and for anybody for that matter.
That's right. Well, I guess it's kind of started with something like this. This is a throw stick, and you can see they've carved beautifully in sizes. This is about 100 years old.
Do you mean the patina?
Yeah, the patina. Well,
patina.
they've used the ochre, but also the carving into the actual airfoil.
Yeah, with a piece of stone.
And you know, they did this, and this actually, believe it or not, this helped with the aerodynamics.
Oh, absolutely.
So it actually made the hunting stick fly further with this than it would if you just had
a flat surface. Yeah.
If I just made this flat like this on the bottom and on the top, that would go less distance than if we put this effect on.
Yes.
And so the Aborigines used this for hunting kangaroos and emus. They would aim at their legs and throw it flat like a frisbee.
Yes.
Yet the Indians also had the Valari, which, although it's not the same shape as this, it was similar enough.
Yeah.
And they would use that, and they use those for hunting very, very successfully.
Yes.
And they use those in wars against the British.
Absolutely, yes.
And then, of course, as we know, the British banned it and confiscated all the Valaris, both out of wood and also where they made them out of metal.
Yes.
Which was quite incredible, because no other country had done that before.
Yeah.
As far as I know, the Indians were the only one to do that.
Yes.
And whereas the Aborigines just made them out of wood. And American Indians out of wood. So most countries just use wood.
Yes.
Yet the Indians made those out of metal and very beautiful, some of them as well.
Yeah, I think the Britishers had a great hard time with the skill of the Indians, who was so good at throwing the Valari that they banned it, they destroyed them. They told people they couldn't use it, and if you have any in your home, please come and deposit them with us, because you're not allowed to use them. So one day, I dreamed that India, or Indians rather, will actually know about the two brothers called the Marudu brothers, who were the best of the best in throwing boomerangs, and they are actually local people from this area where we are sitting today.
Right here.
Yeah, here. They are locals of this area. And I think that will be a matter of extreme pride for every Indian to be able to see the two Marudu brothers who were like tigers. They were compared to tigers.
Yeah.
That they had their aim was just like a tiger. Like a tiger jumps on its prey and definitely gets it. In the same way, if the Marudu brothers threw one of these, they would get one of the white people.
Yeah, well, the English were scared.
Oh, they were scared, of course.
And you know, rightly so, because some of the Valaris, from what I can imagine, out of metal, these could have been quite accurate at 50 to 80 metres.
Yes.
Well, I've actually stood in front of a throwing stick coming towards me, and you know, they're very hard to get out of the way of, because it's spinning like this, but the actual rotation is double the size. So you've got this much area that the actual hunting stick can hit you in. So it's really quite an incredible throwing device.
Yes.
And then I guess we now look at the boomerang.
Yeah.
So it's gone from something like this, the throw sticks, and then the Aborigines actually had the returning boomerang. And this one, instead of throwing it flat like a frisbee and using it for hunting, they actually use this for hunting birds and also, as we are now, having fun.
Yes.
So this one is actually thrown vertical. So you start like this, and it can actually turn around, and at the end come back to you, and some people can even catch it.
Absolutely,
so now you have the opportunity of turning what was once, you know, an item for hunting and killing birds. Now you have the opportunity of turning it into a fun sport.
Absolutely.
And by having fun, we're also educating the children both in Australia and in India the cultural use of a boomerang by fun.
Yes.
And by having fun, I think you can get through to people and make that pretty interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think these trips that we are going to be making to India through the cultural exchange program, which we hope to set up one here at the Madurai Kamaraj University, that will actually play a very big part for the south of India. But in the north of India, we are going to be setting it up in Chhindwara, where we are going to be looking at, because the British also took away what is called the Gond boomerang. So Gond people also had boomerangs. Now, as we all know, that Chhindwara is the headquarters for the Gond people. So setting up one of the centers there would be really good for a cultural exchange program, so that, and rather I should call it a hub. So Kamaraj University can be a hub. So at the same time, in Madhya Pradesh, we can have the hub based in Chhindwara. So I think that will be quite a good, I think, initiative that we can make happen in India, so that we can, take this initiative further.
Yeah, and the good things about boomerangs is that there's no restrictions now with technology.
That's
like
right.
what you have there. That's out of plastic, so we can. It's not going to break, so we can play this on a hard concrete.
Yes.
We can play this anywhere.
Yeah.
But also we can use other materials like foam. We can make different shapes.
Absolutely.
So we have a boomerang that can go 1 metre, 3 metres, 10, 15, however much room we have, we can do it. Whereas even 10 years ago, we didn't have that technology.
Yes.
So now we have the technology,
absolutely,
and the ability and the desire to implement this into
and I think
the education system.
I think my message to the students all over India is that the best thing about this sport is there is no age limit. So if you are 100, you can do it, and if you are 5 years old, you can do it. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you are, you can achieve anything you want. That is my message to you all.
Yes, I think that's exactly right. My advice to all children all over the world is to have fun. And I think as a child, that's exactly what you do, is have fun. But also to embrace your culture. I think it's important to embrace the culture of where you live and accept that. And my love of boomerangs has been over 30 years. So I'm 65 now, and I haven't lost the love of boomerangs. And when I throw something, all my worries are gone. So when I'm watching a boomerang spinning through the air, I'm not worried about anything else at that moment. So boomerangs is one of the pure sports that you can actually completely lose yourself, and it's something you can do completely by yourself. You don't need anybody else to throw it back, because the boomerang can come back to you. So enjoy. Thank you.